I've noticed something about all copywriters that are very advanced is that quite often it's hard to tell exactly what they do. And I think I'm discovering exactly why that is. So if you're new here, my name's Caleb and I'm a copywriter from London, but I am starting to discover that there is a reason why a lot of these people don't brand themselves as copywriters or they don't do it anymore, but they still call themselves a copywriter, because that is starting to happen to me now as we speak. So if you don't know me, I have been a copywriter for about 4 or 5 years now, and I've done various roles in-house as a copywriter. I've done it freelance, but now I have my own business, Finis. It's taking a direction that I now understand why people sort of bury the word copywriting. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. The thing is, when you're a copywriter, you're just one part of the process, right? You're just one component. So a business is always gonna just, have to use you for that one little bit. They're not gonna need you for the whole sales funnel. So they're never gonna pay you that much. See, this is what happens, is that most copywriters become copywriters. They enter a form of sales funnel, and then they start to offer more parts of it as they want to offer more pricing. And then they really can't call themselves a copywriter anymore. So in my example, when I first started, I was a copywriter and I was just writing articles and, just sending them to any business that wanted them. And I'd write about anything. But I soon realized that the purpose of this was for SEO. So they were getting me to write articles for their SEO campaign. So I then started to think, okay, why don't I start to offer it myself? Because why not? Obviously, I want to earn more money and upgrade and do better. So it made sense that I then started to sell them as SEO articles. But then the progression from that is to then offer an SEO campaign from start to finish. So I can't really brand myself as a copywriter anymore, even though I am doing that. I'm basically doing the same thing. It's why I don't really call myself that anymore. I say I run a finance media company. I say I run an SEO company, because that's what clients want to hear. They don't want to hear that you're going to do one bit. They want to hear that you're going to take care of all of it. It's exactly the same thing that happens for email copywriters. They write emails and then they decide to start offering more email marketing, and then more lead gen, and then they quite often go into lead gen. So that's kind of the natural progression that takes. So I think that's why it's difficult to determine often what copywriters do or how they make their money, especially because lots of copywriters now sell courses on how to do it, even though they don't do it anymore themselves, and they make lots of money from it. So they kind of inflate how much money you really can make. But in reality, most people that do copywriting end up, realizing that they can make more money by being more of a general marketer. So yeah, and I think another reason is that it's just more difficult to scale if you're doing all the work yourself. So as long as you say that you're a copywriter, it's difficult to then scale that, because that's kind of assuming that you're doing it yourself. Whereas if you are part of a company that offers a funnel, you can then hire people to do other things and also offer it more as a full service. So it just, I'm sort of seeing this firsthand myself. It's difficult to stay branding myself as a copywriter, because essentially that's branding yourself as a worker or a someone who's doing the heavy lifting. But if you want to scale, you can't be doing that yourself. You have to get other people to do it with you, or find some processes for it, or offer something more, at least if you want to earn more money. I think a copywriter is still a great career if you just want to write, you don't want to hire anyone, and you don't want anything complicated, you just want to earn money writing. It's still awesome. It's still one of the best things that you can do. But in terms of scalability, I think that's why, the term copywriting gets kind of buried under other businesses. So if you see here, I've got what we do, and these are all the things I do, and I've got copywriting, white papers, LinkedIn, ghostwriting, and SEO campaigns. But I think I'm actually going to get rid of it because the way that it goes, as I've explained, is that businesses want a packaged thing. They don't want to have to think about what they want. They want you to tell them what they want, right? And they want you to. The reason they're paying you high money and they're paying you the big fees is because um, they want you to sort everything. They want results, right? And they want it quick. And the thing is if you say you're a copywriter, you're kind of waiting for them to tell you what to do. So even though I do copywriting still, the actual package that I offer is starting to become more apparent in these. So this is what I now offer businesses, and I'm having much more success with it because it's much easier to say to a business, not, oh, what can I help you with? Rather, this is what you need. You need one of these. And this is what I'm realizing is why it's sometimes difficult to stay branding as a copywriter. Because if I keep doing that, I can't, I'm not going to be able to sell a sort of complete package. I'm just going to be selling one little component of it. So I've actually started to now move away from calling myself a copywriter, to move away from copywriting as a profession, even though I'm still doing very similar things to it. And that's been the foundation of my business and my career. But I'm starting to find that it's not a sustainable way to be. So I think as I level up, it's going to just become more and more um, sort of distorted in a way. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but for example, in the sales process, how I used to do things was just give everything up front and just say, oh, here's everything. Like, what can I do for you? Be as helpful as possible. And you don't really get many results that way. And the thing is you soon realize is that if you first people get someone on a call and then you sort of lead them on this process more, it's a much easier sell at the end when you've really explained to them every single part of the process. You've explained to them what you do and the results you're going to get them. It's much easier to then make the sale. And I think it's then more difficult to then be more open and more sort of flexible. So I think if you're actually trying to build a real business, a real sustainable business that is going to, get you actual money long term and grow and eventually be sellable, I think copywriting is a good way to start. But I think for me, I'm starting to realize that if I want to go after the big fish, if I want to scale vertically, I'm going to have to potentially leave it behind. I still am going to keep copywriter on my bio in my LinkedIn. Um, as you can see here, like I still keep it in there because often I find that sales people on LinkedIn find my profile because they've typed in financial copywriter. And copywriting is still a known term, but most of the time I find that the inbounds that I get are generally looking for something more than, or they are confused about what they want, and that's an opportunity to tell them what they need and to offer them a proper marketing service. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. If you're new to copywriting, you can watch all of my old videos, and there is still everything that you need to know to become a copywriter there. As I said earlier, it's still a great thing to do early on. It's a great stepping stone. But I think what I'm realizing is that it is a stepping stone. There are much greater goals for a business than just simply a service-based business, and I think that's where I'm kind of heading to in 2025. So yeah, please still ask me about it. Please still get into it. It's a great career. Like I regret nothing. I think it's literally the best thing ever. It's the best career, and the fact that you can now do this as a career is such a blessing. So yeah, got some great content to come this year. Got some exciting things coming up. So should be some much better content. I'm trying to work on the quality of my videos a bit because I'm still just filming on my iPhone. So I'm probably going to get a camera. I'm moving into a new flat soon, so I should have a proper setup there. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.